There was a time in my life where I thought that self-love meant that I had to treat myself to a nice massage or take myself out to dinner. And yes, those things felt really good, but it only lasted for a moment. I quickly realized that self-love isn't something you only do once in a while. It is actually a way of living. And that is when I understood that I had to focus more on my internal world. So, how to nourish my mind, body, and soul. So, before we dive in, if you're into manifestation, self growth, spiritual wellness, make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the mind. Your thoughts and your feelings shape how you see yourself, but also how you move through the world. And there are many ways to take care of your mind, but these three practices have had the biggest impact on me. So the first practice is to do a digital detox. I used to run away from my thoughts and feelings, and I used social media, but also binge watching series and films to escape the real life. And I really thought that I was treating myself, that was a form of self-love. I thought I was doing something calming and nourishing, but the reality was different. I was actually sleeping very badly. I felt very anxious during the day, and also everything that I was processing, so all the information that I consumed, it felt as if those were my thoughts. I was not myself anymore. That is why I did something drastic, and I did a 2-month challenge, a detox challenge. I know that there are some people who do it for a day or a week or maybe even a month. But I was really addicted, so I chose to do a 2-month digital detox. And honestly, it changed everything for me because now I really have a healthy relationship with the digital world, but I'm sleeping way better. I feel more aware of life. I'm having my own thoughts now, and I am more aware of my own thoughts. So if you want to see a video on how I did the digital detox and what it taught me, please let me know in the comments below. So the second way to nurture my mind is actually by practicing mindfulness. So if you have seen my videos, you know that I swear by daily meditation of at least 15 minutes. But recently I've seen a podcast where Dr. Tara Swart was a guest. If you don't know who she is, she's a psychiatrist and a neuroscientist, and she knows everything about the brain. She links this also to spirituality. But what I really love is the way she explains things. It is so easy to understand. She is such an inspiration to me. She's really amazing. So check out her videos if you haven't seen her. But during that podcast, she was talking about if you're meditating 1 hour a day, what do you do with the rest of the 23 hours? And she was explaining how she was being more mindful during the day. Because if you think about it, all we do during the day is thinking about what happened and about what will happen. So the future and the past. And that got me thinking like, okay, I need to change things during my day. Well, I'm very lucky. I have a toddler who is in awe of this world. So anytime she sees a butterfly or she's a snail, normally I would, just rush through the moment and I will be like, yeah, I see the snail, or yeah, I see the butterfly. But now I really take in that experience and be focused on the present with her. And it is amazing actually, because the more you do it, the more aware you are of that you're not thinking about the present anymore, that you're more focused on other things around it. So you can practice this as well during your day. So when you're brushing your teeth or when you are drinking your morning coffee, try to be aware of that moment. So when you're having that coffee in your hand, try to smell it. Smell the fragrance. And when you take a sip, feel the warmth of that coffee going through your mouth and running through your throat to your stomach. Try to really, really feel everything at that moment. And that is how you practice mindfulness. And if you do this every day, you will get stronger. And then the last practice that really transformed my life, and that is boundaries. Yes, you heard that right. Boundaries. I mean, if I think about it, when I set my boundaries, I would always think about how other people would feel. How wild is that? Instead of thinking about what I needed, I was thinking about others. until I realized that self-love meant that I had to put myself first. So I've heard many, many times that I was very selfish. And yes, it can be painful if you hear things like that. Like you think like, I'm not selfish, I'm putting myself first. But you know what? If you're being selfish and you take that space, you have room to think. You can really see the things that are not good for you. So I would definitely recommend reassess your friendships, your relationships, and say no to them. So draw that boundary, because your mind is not a dumping ground. It deserves space and it deserves safety. And you are the only one who can give that to yourself. Remember that. So from the mind, we move on to the body. And the first practice that is really important to me is movement. Well, I used to treat workouts as a requirement. Not something that I love to do, but something I had to do. Not until I had to slow down a few times actually in my life, where one time I had an injury, and also when I was pregnant. When I was forced to slow down, I actually tried new workouts. I never thought that I would be practicing yoga, but since then I am hooked. We have to have joy in what we do. So choose something you like and love. Maybe something you haven't done in years, or maybe something you want to experience again, like for example, taking a dance class, or maybe go out for tennis. Whatever you want to do, try new things. Sometimes change is also a good thing. And then the second practice is being in nature and catch some sunlight if you can. Because I live in the Netherlands and the sun is shining, but unfortunately the clouds are always in the way. Having a walk outside is so good. Being in nature is a great reset, and it's been scientifically proven. So what I did is I made it a habit for myself. So I go out every lunch break and just have a walk around and really try to immerse myself in nature. Most of the times I don't have any headphones on, so I also try to practice again a little bit of mindfulness and really hear the birds or the wind blowing the leaves of the trees. It always feels amazing. So try it, go outside, even if it's 15 minutes. If you don't have a park nearby, just the fresh breath of air that you're feeling in your lungs can do you so much good. I hope that in your country you have more sunlight available and you can enjoy the warmth on your body. And the last one is food. So I have been learning a lot about Ayurveda and also about the concept of doshas. Dosha means your body-mind type. So by understanding which dosha you are, you also understand which foods and spices help you to feel more energized, more balanced, and more grounded. So there are lots of quizzes online. I love the one of Sahara Rose. I will put down the link in the description. So by doing this quiz, you understand what your body needs, and also you can adapt to it if you want to. And of course, food for me is also joy. I come from a culture where food is celebrated. It's actually a way to bring people together. And for me, food is the highlight of the day. But of course, we also have to be mindful with what we eat. So again, we have to practice the mindfulness that I talked about earlier. Every meal is a way to experience life by the taste, by the flavor, by the smell, and always speak your gratitude out for the food that you're eating. We have to be grateful for what we have. So from the mind to the body, we finally end at the soul. So for me, the soul is actually a part in us that exists beyond our roles, beyond our appearances, and even beyond our thoughts. To me, it is that soft inner voice from within. So actually our intuition. And I feel like self-love is also listening to that inner voice. And one of the ways for me to tap into that is by practicing Kundalini yoga. That it's a practice that I just recently started. I think I'm now doing it now for 4 months. And honestly, it is amazing. Kundalini combines movement, breath, and stillness, which drop me instantly into my center. I can literally feel my nervous system slowing down or calming down even. Since I've been practicing Kundalini yoga, I am less stressed, less reactive, and also more and more aware of myself. But I also think that self-love, if you think about the perspective from the soul, it is also about alignment. So really living in a way that is true to yourself. And that is easier said than done, honestly. We are all navigating the rush of this life, work, paying the bills, taking care of our family. To be honest, I have asked myself this many, many times, like, how am I going to, try to look for that alignment and feel that alignment while I also have all these responsibilities. I feel exhausted. But that is when I started, doing all these practices that I've explained in this video. And this helped me to come back to myself, to come home to myself. And this allowed me to understand that I deserve the love, I deserve the joy, I deserve the peace in my life. And by taking very small steps, I feel like now I'm hearing my intuition more. I'm moving along a path, no idea where I'm going, but I'm moving at my own pace. So trust your timing and trust your path. So thank you again for watching this video. If you like my content, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you don't want to miss the next one. And yeah, thank you so much.